This guy had an awkward first day on the job. His master asked him to use an air impact wrench to drive screws, but the socket directly burst. Since finding replacement parts locally was really difficult, and to avoid being criticized by the boss, he had no choice but to ask his master for help. The master took a look, said nothing, and immediately placed it on a lathe. He turned down the broken socket, discarding the damaged part, and kept only the square drive end. Then said the problem could be fixed without much trouble. The guy was skeptical at first, but after a dazzling series of operations by the master, the otherwise scrapped socket was brought back to life and could be used again. Watching until the end, it was truly astonishing. So how did he do it? First, the master machined a section of thread onto the retained square drive and set it aside for later use, to ensure the repaired socket would be strong and durable. He then took out a scrapped automotive shaft for turning, using this solid steel as the material to machine the crucial component, the socket's internal hexagon. This material was significantly stronger than the one that had broken. With skillful hands, the master turned the steel rod until it was smooth and precise. After using a hexagonal nut to determine positioning, the most difficult step appeared, using the lathe tool to draw 3 straight lines freehand, which would intersect with the circular shape to accurately mark the positions of the 6 corners. This required exceptional craftsmanship to ensure the error was within 1 millimeter. Once the marking was done, he drilled 6 small holes at the marked positions, along with a center hole. Then, using a larger drill bit, he enlarged the center hole, a step that directly determined whether the finished piece would fit perfectly with the nut. Thus, the master handled this task with exceptional precision and care, because any slight mistake, whether too big or too small, could cause looseness or jamming, scraping the material. With his exquisite skill, after the machining was done, he used a blowtorch to heat the piece to a certain temperature, preparing it for an important treatment. This treatment involved heating the material to reduce its hardness, then driving a nut into the hole to act as a mold, squeezing and shaping it into a perfect internal hexagon. Lacking specialized equipment, the master easily achieved the precise dimensions simply through careful hammering and shaping. After that, he placed the socket back on the lathe, turning and finishing it to remove the rough surface, smoothing the outer diameter while ensuring it matched the dimensions of the original part. At this point, only one and the most critical step remained to complete the repair, separating the socket from the steel rod and machining an internal thread on the other end to match the square drive. The 2 parts would then be joined by threading, forming a complete socket, avoiding the weakness of direct welding, which would snap under the torque of the impact wrench. Now, after a full weld around the joint, the strength was as solid as a mountain, unyielding. After a simple finishing of the weld seam and overall appearance, the socket was perfectly restored, looking as if it had never been damaged. So, how would you rate this master's repair skill?